Yeah, Anin Buju. Anybody Ojibwe in the crowd? Okay, so Anin Buju Ningejaka Gnu Nandawe Nini Nindo Demwab Jeshi Ninishnabe from Minnesota. Good afternoon, my relatives. I greet you in the way when I look in your faces that I see the original person that we were taught our lessons in how to live a good life. And so I greet you in that way. My name is, my Christian name is Erik, and my tribal name is Brown Eagle, one who brings healing to the people, and I'm from the Pine Marten clan. I'm Anishinaabe or Chippewa from Minnesota, and I'm really happy to be here with you guys today. It's been a long day, and so I think we're gonna do some. We're gonna show some videos and watch some like movie kind of stuff too, because this first video has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about today, but I kind of want to show it and just have a good time. So I'm going to mute this.
Sometimes it gets hard to balance these two worlds. There's different responsibilities that I hold at school. There's different responsibilities that I hold for the Powell Trail. I'm a junior at UW-Madison. I come from the Bad River Band of Lake Superior, Ojibwe. A powwow is a social gathering. This is like our way of bringing our whole Native community together.
Okay, I believe we are ready for our first grand entry, so we are going to ask those of you that are able to please rise, remove the covers off your head, to pay respects not only just to our stars and stripes, but to the original flag of this continent, our eagle staffs.
Veterans play a huge role because they went to battle for us. They went to battle for our people, and they always have. Powwows are used as a means to educate people. That's why they're so open to the public and everything. A lot of people classify Native Americans as, oh, they're all Indians. Well, no, we're all from different nations that are all really, really different. We all have different languages. We all have different ways of life, and we're completely different. Just from being on the Powwow Trail, you get to learn so much about different Native nations. When I was just a little guy, I'd watch those men's traditional dancers, and they always had a big impression on me, and I always saw them as, like almost like the protectors of the powwow. It's almost like I'm hunting, especially when you do the sneak up. You're out there looking for your prey or for your wawashkeshi. We call that. That's our word for deer. I started singing with Midnight Express a few years ago. Those people in that drum are my family. Sometimes, like when it's not a contest song, I'll get to look out there and see all those feathers out there moving and bobbing with the beat and people just jamming out, and that's a great feeling. When you're dancing for the ones that can't dance anymore. That's what they say. So you dance hard, so the ones that are watching that can't dance, or the ones that aren't able to make it to the powwow, can feel those feelings from here. I really try to encourage younger, I call them little brothers on the Paul Trail. That's another reason I dance and sing, is to help motivate these young ones to carry on our traditions. I really feel that I was put here on this earth to help pass things on. I want to see these traditions, these ways passed down till I'm gone and on.
So Dylan is a student who actually graduated now, and now he's like back in his community, and he's a leader. Okay, like he's someone who's making a big difference, who's decided to go back and to kind of work from the ground up to get people together, to work on the fibers of community, and to give his gifts to make things better. I'm kind of starting to miss home a little bit, and that's where my wife's powwow grounds are. Like that's their powwow grounds, and so everybody's starting to gather and travel back across the country, and we're not going to go this year, but so I just kind of wanted to play that. As Dr. Crespo said, I'm a family medicine doctor. I work up at Oregon Health and Science University. I think that's probably the simplest, most boring way to describe my job. I'm a family doctor, right? But I think what I really do is I keep secrets. I work with people in a really rural area, and I'm able to sit and visit and talk with people and listen to stories that they wouldn't tell their best friends, they won't tell their spouses, things that they maybe haven't told anybody in 30, 40 years. And I walk with somebody on their journey to health. And I do that 1 day, 2 days a week. And then the rest of the time, I work on programs and program development specific to American Indian people. Programs very similar to what Build is like. And I'll tell you a little bit about why I do that. So this is an overlay picture. That's me on the left. And then on the right, this is the oldest photograph that we have in our family. And the young woman on the right, that is my great-grandmother. And she was forcibly removed from her home at a very young age, at about 2 years old. And she was taken to live in what was called a sister school. So she was being trained to become a nun one day. Didn't work, because I'm here, right? But this picture fascinates me because I can't see her face. I don't know if she's happy. I don't know if she's sad. I don't know if she likes being where she's at. I don't know if she feels content and has friends there. I don't know if she feels disconnected, if she feels like a severing from her community. This is a picture taken of her at, there was a judge in the area. The young women would be, I guess, hired out on weekends to like do chores as part of their learning process, and this is where she's at. It's a picture of her taken there. I'm not sure if this comes from a private collection or a family photo collection, but we're fortunate or not, my wife and I are able to get pictures from private collections, family collections, then also from like museums of our family from back in the day. But this is a picture from before North Dakota was a state, and my grandma was taken from Minnesota and was raised at this sister school in North Dakota. What else this represents to me is also a narrowing of thought, where a point where everybody's ideas and maybe diverse perspectives maybe weren't valued as much. So in this picture at this time, people in my family spoke approximately 4 languages. This right here represents a time where that was whittled down to 1. Amazing shifts happened in our family at this time. Family, community, states in the area. And it was the educational system that was used to be the tool that took all these great ideas that were broad and narrowed them and whittled them down just to a few. I look back at that and I'd like to say that that doesn't happen in education today, or maybe it didn't happen in my education, right? but I'm not so certain if that did or not. What I work on is medical stuff. And this is a picture of a guy from our community who, so I'm a medical physician, I'm an MD, an allopathic doctor. This guy, Tommy, he was a man in our community who had been trained from time immemorial, things that were passed on through people to be the healer, the person in the community that we went to for help. And there was an event that happened in northern Minnesota while I was a medical student during that time where there was a school shooting that happened, and I happened to be the only Native person that was in the ER that day when all the patients from the school, which happened to be a tribal school, came in. And we grew very close after that period of time because he was responsible for doing a lot of the burials in the family and the burials in the community. And then I was responsible for like sewing people back up, you know, getting people taken care of in the ER, either shipping them out and or getting them upstairs or to see a surgeon, whatever. But that was a time when we became very close. And it's also a time where I started to realize that maybe more people like me needed to be in the US medical education system. Because there aren't very many Ojibwe people that are doctors today. This is a picture of Dr. Arnie Vanyo, and I was 22 years old when I first met an American Indian male who was a physician. I'd met Native women before that were nurses, Native women that were doctors, but I'd actually never met an American Indian man who had gone on to become a physician. And so in my education up to this point, I was always trying to reach and search for something that I wasn't sure actually existed. And then when he walked in the room at an event like this, it was like I saw a unicorn. Like I was sitting in the second row, and the guy was probably just like, wow, that kid's special. Because I was just like seriously just like jaw dropped looking at him. And he told his story. And just by seeing him, it was like I was given permission that I too could go on and follow this dream and to become something that I'd never seen before. I had the idea that I wanted to do it, and I was trying to go through the motions through classes and everything. But until I actually saw him in person and heard his story, someone from one of our communities that went on and did this, I don't think it was actually real to me. So I could tell you all about his amazing story, or I can let him tell you.
This old Mustang, it's probably a lot more work than people wanted to put into it, but that's what I do. When I'm doing this stuff, I'm out here with my uncle. After my dad's suicide, my uncle took that role for me. He used to work on old cars all the time, so that's what brought me comfort when I was young, and that's who I wanted to be. My high school counselor told me that I wasn't college material and that I should go to tech school and work on transmissions, and I believed him. I worked in a body shop, then I took an EMT course, and I loved it. And at the end of the course, it was just done. During that time in the body shop, there was this huge accident. Semi-truck full of logs hit a pickup truck, and the woman in the pickup truck, her neck was broken. I held her head and cleared the blood out of her mouth and kept her calm until the ambulance got there, and she made it. For someone to save a life, it defines you. For the rest of your life, it defines you. When I first started as a physician, sometimes it was so overwhelming.
And I want you to promise me you'll try not to, talk about suicidal stuff or, commit suicide.
And there's so much hurt and there's so much tragedy and there were so many things I couldn't fix that I would come home and I'd be just beat. I don't know if I was really happy until I realized that I was given this gift of being a physician. by lots of people around me. Sometimes it was as simple as just putting me back on the path. You know, what do you think you're doing? Realizing that, whoa, I wasn't doing the right things. And to finally be a physician, I realized that people that are hurting, people that don't have much money, whatever circumstances there are, to come and see me takes a big chunk out of their day. That's important to them.
This is already getting better, and I think this will just continue to get better. Okay.
And as soon as I embrace that, you know, I don't always make everybody happy. But when I get home at the end of the day and I realize that I did something for every single person that walked through that door, you know, that makes a huge difference.
Once I get started, then your heart rate should come down, and I think you'll start feeling better. All right, here's your eardrum.
Right.
This is the way it's supposed to look. It drains
Yeah.
into your eustachian tube,
Right.
into the back of your throat.
Right.
Okay? This is the best EKG you've ever had.
Yeah.
Okay?
I have people that look up to me. I have kids that look up to me.
So this is liquid nitrogen. So this
When I first started being a role model, I didn't like that term. And I didn't want to be that because it seemed like you had to be perfect in order to do that.
Okay, so there's one.
And it took me quite a while to realize that there aren't enough of us, you know, as role models, and that there will be better ones that come by one of these days. But until then, I need to do what I have to do. I see myself in those kids all the time. The reason I couldn't ask questions about what medical school was in the future or what residency meant even when I was in medical school, I didn't ask those questions because I didn't want to look ignorant and I didn't want my people to look ignorant. And it's the same sort of thing. Questions don't get asked. You know, a lot of Native kids are really quiet. And when I see that, then I work to try to draw that out or get them to ask a question or get them to at least know it's okay to ask a question. We have kids that are totally capable of being doctors, you know, that have that temperament, that caring, that curiosity, that have the smarts to be doctors. We've had some success stories over the years, and I want more and more of those. True happiness, it turns out, lies in service, in being able to do things for people. And to be able to do that, you know, for an entire community as a physician, you know, getting somebody's blood pressure down,
Again.
talking somebody through, you know, suicidal thoughts, making a deal with them that they won't kill themselves until they see me. And we'll just go a week at a time. You know, we'll go 2 days at a time. To be able to save a life once is cool, but to do it again and again and again, it's a gift. It's a gift to be given something like that and to be able to realize that you're really making a difference for people.
So he's the first Native doctor I ever met, and what this is showing there, it talks about a project that I started. It's called wearehealers.org, and the reason I started this is because there's so few American Indians who are physicians and health professionals that we felt Native youth weren't seeing who they could become one day out in the community. And so social media is highly utilized by folks in our communities, especially when rural, because it's like your connection to each other, but then also like outside of it. And so we've introduced these videos through like social media and live presentations. And we're kind of working on trying to increase the number of Native people who are in health professions and biomedical sciences. That's what I do with We Are Healers. I want to show you guys some data real quick. I mean, you guys are biomedical scientists, or you're just starting your journey to become biomedical scientists, and I just want to show you a snapshot of the last 30 years. Since 1980, there's been a whole bunch of different programs that have been started to try and diversify the health workforce. And if you break things down by race and ethnicity in medical education, MD schools, the percentage of African American, Asian, Hispanic, Latino people has risen in the medical education system. Since 1980, the percentage of American Indian people is actually going down. Over the past 30 years, despite all the efforts and a lot of good work by a lot of great people, the needs of American Indian students aren't quite being met and I'm not exactly sure where it is along the pathway, but I'm trying to find out. And people are like, well, it's such small numbers over such a large period of time, maybe that's happening. And maybe it was worse before and it's actually getting better right now. So this is a graph that was released by the Association of American Medical Colleges a few months ago. And it shows that in the last 15 years, the trend is actually accelerating down. And so the percentage of American Indians who are applying to medical school has gone down by 70% in the last 15 years. And the percent of American Indians who are getting, or the American Indians who are getting into medical school has actually decreased by 63% in the last 15 years. More medical schools, more slots, more opportunities, but our numbers are going backwards. So I'm trying to work on this. And so what I've done in my career are things that are similar to what Dr. Crespo and Dr. Morris are doing in starting like the Build EXITO program, right? It's to identify students who have a tremendous amount of skill and talent and potential and to foster those things so that you guys can achieve your dreams and so that you guys can join the biomedical workforce. This is a student, Lakita. She's actually from my clan and she's from the same tribe. And she's one of the first students that I worked with in pathway programming. She started coming as a summer student. And I have a very short little minute 50-second clip about Lakita.
Dear Native youth dreaming of college, I know how hard it is to imagine yourself here. I doubted my dreams too. But my grandma encouraged me. You can do it, Lakita. You can go to college. I listened to her, and I followed my dream. The first in my family. But getting here was just the beginning. I missed home, classes were hard, and I felt like everyone else knew what they were doing. But that made me work harder. People began to believe in me. And I believed in myself. And despite all the challenges, I dreamed even bigger. I dreamed of becoming a doctor. If I can, you can too. Follow me. Follow your dreams. You can go to college. You can become a doctor. One day, you could take care of our elders and our families and the next generation. We believe in you. Lakita Malson, class of 2020, University of Wisconsin, School of Medicine and Public Health.
Now, I understand that one thing you guys are going to be learning over the next few days is kind of formalizing your elevator pitch about what it is you're doing and what it is that you're going to accomplish over the next few years. Maybe envisioning who you want to become, what kind of career you want to pursue, what classes you have to take. And you're going to formalize this like 1 or 2 sentence pitch. My name is, what's your name? My name is David, and I'm going to be a astrophysicist. And the way I'm going to get there is to build EXITO. And I'm going to meet people who are astrophysicists, and they're going to mentor me, and they're going to help me get there. The door has been opened for you guys. You have mentorship and resources at your fingertips now. And all you have to do is run through that door and follow your wildest dreams. What's your name? Zach? Great. What are you going to be? Zach, you're going to be a physical therapist. Miss, you? Amanda, and what are you going to be, Amanda? Excellent. Amanda's going to become a cardiothoracic surgeon. And you're going to take this opportunity, you're going to see that door open, and you're going to run through it as hard and as fast as you can and listen to the people that are around you to help you realize your dream. Because that's what this is about. It's awesome. I get so excited when I hear about like Build EXITO and what you guys are going to accomplish. Because, I mean, you guys are coming from all sorts of different perspectives and places, you know, different family structures, different cultures, different learning environments, different geographic places. Like some people are like, oh my gosh, it's so hot in Portland right now. You see people from Alaska, did you see them sweating? They're terrified. And then you have people that came from southern climates and they're just like ready to put on a jacket right now, right? So it's different. Think about us with We Are Healers. If you're interested in becoming a physician or if you know people who are any health professional, or if you just want to follow along with our journey, please do that. I actually wrote some stuff down to talk about today, but I always get kind of sidetracked, so I knew that. I'll end with this. Sitting in your seats, you likely have a bunch of emotions going on right now. Some of you might be nervous, scared. This is all unknown. You may feel some excitement, maybe some trepidation. I don't know, maybe even some anticipation of how cool the next 4 days are going to be. And I know these emotions because I was sitting in a chair in a program just like this almost 20 years to the day, and I had no idea how amazing it was going to be to meet mentors, to meet people who could provide me with the resources to achieve my dreams. What I am certain of is that you're all courageous because you're taking a risk. You're willing to walk through that door. You're willing to extend yourself beyond your comfort zone. You're going to participate and build, and you're going to make the most of this tremendous opportunity that you have in front of you. It just brings me so much joy and hope to see you sitting here because when I look out into the room right now, I see the future of our biomedical science leaders. You're all full of potential, and you're the people who are going to bring the innovations that we need. You're going to bring those things to life. I want to just leave you with a couple thoughts. And this is something that I didn't understand very well, and maybe I had what was called a little bit of imposter syndrome when I was going through school, when I was thinking about being accepted into a program like Build. The term underrepresented means that there are not many of us in a field, in a vocation, in a school. But do not for a second, don't ever let it cross your mind that underrepresented is equal to unskilled or underqualified. I felt that in my career. Don't let that bring you down. Whether you're coming from a rural town, a remote island, or an urban community, there are not many of us in biomedical education, biomedical sciences, or careers. However, all of us are uniquely skilled and we're uniquely qualified. And each of you have earned this opportunity to follow your dreams and build. We're excited about the fresh ideas and perspectives that you're going to bring. We have high expectations of you because of your unique qualifications and your skills. Each of you brings a unique perspective through which you see the world. And it is because of where you come from, your culture, your experiences. It's because of those things that you've arrived at this point today. It's not despite that. Let me say that again. It's because of who you are that's gotten you here. It's because of where you're from that's gotten you here. You haven't gotten here despite of who you are. Hold on to the unique perspective that you have from your community, from your culture, and from the ways that you were taught, because that is what will carry you through this program. When I think of the future and what we need, we don't need to keep accepting the same people over and over and over who come from the same place that have the same ideas. We need to widen our view. We need to broaden our perspective. And we need to bring in as many people as we can to generate the unique solutions to the challenges that we all face. And when I look at this room, I've got David, Zach, and Amanda, and everybody else in here. You're going to take this opportunity, you're going to see that door open, and you're going to run through it. And you're going to work as hard as you can. And you're going to come through on the other side having pursued that dream to become a cardiothoracic surgeon, a physical therapist, or an astrophysicist. You guys, thank you for your time. Have a great, great experience in Build, and make the most of this opportunity. Take care.